Next is Jeremy Gilbert.
Yes, sir, that'll be a plea.
We got Jeremy Gilbert, 22-40242. Motion to revoke probation here. Did y'all have a pre-sentence report, please?
Yes, Your Honor.
Jeremy Gilbert. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
10,000 in restitution. Anything paid? For restitution?
Restitution.
Anything paid by the defendant? No.
Right here.
Okay. There is in 22-40242 a motion to revoke probation filed on March 27th, 2023. Does the defendant, you are Jeremy Gilbert,
Yes, sir.
here with Mr. Grove, your attorney and the state's attorney. Does the defendant waive a formal reading of this? Can we proceed in summary?
Yes, Your Honor.
In summary, this states that, and by the way, if you raise your right hand, do you solemnly swear or affirm any statement you make today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Lower your hand. This motion states that on November 28th of last year, you were sentenced to 10 years in prison, probated for 10 years for the felony of theft. Is that true? One, states you failed to report to the probation office for the month of November, December, January, and February. He absconded from the beginning? Never reported?
No.
Is that true or untrue?
That's true.
Number two, you failed to provide verification performing any community service hours as required by your probation order. Is that true?
Yes, sir.
Number three, you failed to provide verification of completing the theft prevention class as required by the probation office. Is that true? And in your probation order?
Yes.
Are you pleading true to allegations 1, 2, and 3? Voluntarily, knowingly, intelligently, and because they are true?
Yes.
Do you understand by pleading true to one or more violations of probation, that's enough? A knowing plea of truth is enough to grant this motion to revoke probation by a preponderance of the evidence or greater. Your probation can now be revoked and you can be sentenced to the full range of punishment, which is no less than 2 nor more than 10 years confinement in prison. Knowing that, you insist on pleading true today. I find you were pleading true voluntarily. You understand and appreciate the consequences of pleading true. There's a agreement or none?
No, sir, there's
Okay.
not.
Go ahead.
I think it's also significant that there has been no restitution paid
Yeah, that is significant.
on count 4, although the court did not go over that with the defendant.
Well, the problem is that it was ordered and the other although restitution from any victim for any victim's standpoint is serious, completely and totally failing at all to be a probationer. Everything centers around supervision, and you completely and totally were not supervised because you didn't buy into the rules. You didn't follow anything the court ordered you to do. Is it safe to say he failed in every way possible? State? Is that
Yes, Your Honor. It's my understanding that he didn't make any effort, to do anything on probation.
That's not good.
No, sir. I believe that Mr. Hubert would like to address the court.
Yes,
What do you want to tell the judge about why you didn't?
upon my release, it was probably no excuse that I was homeless at the time.
And I had to report to Beaumont, which I had no transportation, and I don't know Beaumont very well at all. So
You live in Port
I
Arthur.
live in Port Arthur.
Which sense?
So the reason why I didn't report because I at the time I didn't have a lot of space. Now that I stay with my brother, I have transportation to get through probation into community service and start the criminal weekend.
And you have been in jail for some time now. Is that correct? Would you like the judge to consider, since you have been in jail, reinstating you on the probation so you could do what you were supposed to do the first time, although obviously you didn't do it, including paying your fees and those type things, taking the classes that you're supposed to take and do community service.
Yes, sir. I had it was a disadvantage for me because I had really no help. Both parents, but it's no excuse, like I said, but I have more resources. I stay with my brother. I have an address and a phone number where I can actually start and do my probation and my post.
So what are you asking for, David? Just reinstate?
You'd like to, Mr. Jubert, you'd like to ask the judge to reinstate your probation and give sanction for some jail time that you've either served or maybe some more jail time, and put you back on probation, give you one last chance to do what you're supposed to do and what you told the judge you would do when you were placed on probation. Is that right?
Yes, sir. I'm asking for another chance. Start my probation and completely do the things I'm supposed to do.
How many times have you been placed on probation for criminal cases in the past? Nobody would know better than you, sir.
It's been a while. It's been one time, 10 years ago.
Well, no, you're misadded. Let's see. You've got you were placed on probation in 2005 for 2 cases. In April of 2005, manufacture and delivery of a controlled substance on each case. And that was 2 years confinement, suspended, placed on 5 years probation. And that probation was revoked in 2 years. And you were sentenced to 1 year imprisonment on each of those. So that's 2. In 2008, you got 4 years imprisonment for forgery and 4 years confinement in prison for unauthorized use of a motor vehicle. That was 11/10 of 08. Thereafter, you were released in May of 2012. You were then convicted in December of 2012 and did 10 months in the state jail for illegal possession of a controlled substance. And then here you were placed on probation in November. And we can't be too surprised that you failed. We're not even counting the misdemeanor convictions. You've got theft by check, failure to identify, and the DWI conviction, 3 of those. So how many is that now? It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Counting this one. 9, and 3 of those are misdemeanors. 6 convictions of felonies. Here, you just didn't hurt anybody. You hurt the Port Arthur ISD by stealing the catalytic converters, you and others, which cost not just the ISD is made up of people who pay taxes to the taxpayers. The people of Port Arthur who are suffering enough by economic woes then had that mess that they have to be, that was added to them. Catalytic converters, theft is low. That's low. A vehicle is the second most valuable expense normally in the world, because, and you have to have them. to get around, to move, convey one place to another. But you have just left a trail of a mess that everybody else now is burdened to fix. Shame on you.
I mean, I apologize for.
Yeah, well, we don't want apology. You've had nine big errors and you're apologizing. Nobody wants an apology from you. We want you to follow the rules, which you just can't do. No, but you made a promise. See, those apologies are just like your promises. They're meaningless. And everybody else has to pay for it. Because those catalytic converters at Port Arthur ISD have to be fixed. $10,000 restitution. Those things are expensive in this case. $10,000. Anything? By anyone?
Your Honor, the state just is requesting 10 years TDC. And the defendant hasn't made any effort whatsoever, knowing that he was facing up to the 10 years. So I would ask that that he be sentenced to mayor.
Anything else anybody wants to add? No. If not, I'm going to find there is just cause to grant this motion to revoke probation. As allegations 1, 2, and 3 have been proven true by a preponderance of the evidence, your probation is revoked. You are hereby sentenced to confinement in the institutional division of the Texas Department of Criminal Justice to serve a term of 10 years. That judgment shall also reflect restitution in the amount of $10,107.53 be added in the judgment for the economic mess that you failed to fix, that you caused in this. And the court's going to try to send a message. We give second chances, but when you combine a motion to revoke probation, you combine a lengthy criminal history, and you combined zero effort in your probation, then the court's going to hold defendants accountable, especially in this mess of catalytic converter theft, which caused severe economic hardship for, in this case, the taxpayers of the Port Arthur Independent School District. That is all. Next is Wesley Moore. Finally.